Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to work with fetch API in JavaScript and use fetch function and promises. So working with APIs is a common task in JavaScript development and front-end development. Also, it's a common interview question in different variations. So let's take a look at the design. We will have two divs and one for today's useless fact and the second one for random fact. And I'm going to use some API useless facts dot jsph dot pl. So it's a public API. It doesn't require any authorization. You can just make get calls, and actually it has only two endpoints, and I'm going to use both of them. So let's get started with the design and with the application. First of all, I need to create index.html file where I put my template. Let me change the title. Um, Let it be Facts API. And now I can build my body. I need class container. And inside container, I'm going to add h2, today's useless. I have today's useless fact. Useless fact. And we need some div with today's fact ID. And I'm going to just copy paste it. And I use random useless fact and added ID random. And also I need some class fact. And for the div the same. Okay, and now we need to add CSS file, styles, CSS, and also script.js for JavaScript code. Script.js. And let me add some styles, body. We can make it full length to simplify by center. And we can write class for our container. Let's take my width 600 and text aligned by center. Okay, and now I need to add this to the HTML file, like link, styles, and also I need to add scripts with source to my script.js, and I'll make it defer to start after the HTML is ready, and I'll load it. Now I'm going to run this by opening my terminal and just start index.html, and it will open the HTML file in my browser. Okay, let's take a look. So we have headings and we need to add some text. And the same here. The text will be shown before we don't make any calls to the API. Okay, let me check. We can add borders as we have here, and also border radius, and increase the font size a bit. Okay, let me do it. And border radius 20 pixels and border 1 pixel green, and font size 1.2 root element. Okay, let's check. Okay, we have our divs, and now we can build the JavaScript code. First of all, I need some const for API address, and I'm going just copy paste it from my browser. Okay, and also we need an endpoints. Today's endpoint, and I'm going to use our const API and add address from the provided endpoint here. For today we have this address. Just add here, and also we need a random endpoint. And I'm just going copy paste also. Okay, we have our endpoints, and now we can build function for making API calls. Let's be get fact, and we need endpoint, and we'll pass the selector for one div and for two div. Let's make it selector, and it will be just function. And first of all, I would like to get div element, and I'll use document query selector and just use our selector. And for making API call, we'll use fetch function. As you can see, it has one required parameter URL address. We'll use our endpoint, and it makes by default get requests, and we have only get method, so we can just skip other options. We'll just use endpoint, and the fetch method returns promise, and we'll handle it with then, and it will return us some response from the server. And let's just initially check what it returns. Just console log response, and we need to call this get fact in our script with today's endpoint, and also with our div today's fact. Okay, and let's check. I'm going to open developer tools and console. Okay, we got a response. Okay, we can take a look at it. We have okay, and status code 200. Everything alright. And we can check network. Inside network, we have this response. And as you can see, we have here ID, language, permalink, source. We're interested in text. I'll pass this text inside our container. So let's go back to the code. And also, as you can see, response contains status code, and we need to check the status if it is correct. So we'll check if it not equal 200, then we will provide some error text inside text content and error we got error. So you can change by some meaningful text here, but the main idea that the fetch API requires you to handle this status code manually in the code because it doesn't handle it. So you can check the documentation. And so if we didn't get 200, then we can provide error. Otherwise, we'll just return our response to JSON format. And here we can just return. And this response JSON also returns promise, and we now can add another then, and we'll have our data, and we'll add this function to handle data, and I'm going just to put the text inside our selector data text without the previous response, and we just add text. So let's check. Okay, as you can see, here is the today's useless fact, and we have response, and now we can add fact to our random div. We just simply copy paste this function and provide random endpoint, and also our div to random fact ID. So let's check. Okay, we have today's useless fact and random useless fact, and we have this response, and we can check console log. And now let's make some catch for catching errors with some invalid endpoint or something like that, what return our page. But this response was not returned from the server. Okay, let's do it. We'll have here error, and I'll add some header console error, just error, and we can change this text element, text content to error. Try again, wait, and I'm going to make changes to our your API just to make it fail because we'll probably not have this API and we'll got error. Let's check. So as you can see, we got errors. I have some errors in console log, and our response failed. So and user will see this text about error. Okay, let's remove this and return to normal API. And I'm going to remove this console log, and we can check. I'm going to just update. We can close this developer tools, and we need to increase borders. Okay, let me do it. We just need to add paddings. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, as you can see, we have today's fact, random fact, and let's update. Okay, the random fact was changed, and so everything works okay. So you can play with it, change the styles. I'll put the link to the code. And if you liked the video, subscribe to my DevWeb blog channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.